Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the NBA DFS Core Pick video for today, Friday, November 24th. If you are joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. There will be no recap since we haven't had a video technically since Tuesday. Did make one for Wednesday. Unfortunately, the save file got corrupted when I went to upload it, so that was kind of unfortunate there. And the time to retake and redo that whole video would have just been too much for that project. So hopefully you guys did all right on Wednesday. I did post my core in the comments as well as some updates throughout the day, starting lineups, injury updates, all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys had a pretty good slate overall on Wednesday. Hopefully you enjoyed the day off yesterday for Thanksgiving, watched some football, had some good food and all that good stuff. But for today, we'll just have the injuries in play for today, going through the 8-game main slate, talking about the injuries that could be in play for today overall. And then after that, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and FanDuel and talk about my core picks. It's going to be one player at each position, so point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. But without further ado, we'll get over to the injuries for today's slate. So it's an 8-game main slate until there are 2 earlier games today too. So if you're playing those, just real quickly here, we got the Boston Celtics who got Jaylen Brown listed as questionable due to a thigh injury. Drew Holiday's probable due to an ankle injury. Carter and Fultz both out for Orlando once again. And then for the Phoenix Suns, Bradley Beal, Drew Eubanks, Damian Lee, and Watanabe are all out once again. And then on the Grizzlies side, Bane is questionable due to a foot sprain. They did just sign Shaq Harrison to their roster. We'll see if he's able to play in their game today or not. And then pretty much the same guys out for them, and Clark, Kennard, LaRavia, Morant, Smart, and Tillman once again. So that's kind of the early slate. Not going to talk too much about that. And then we move over to the main slate with the Miami Heat, who have RJ Hampton, Tyler Hero, Drew Smith all out. Smith's the newest one there. We got Bam Adebayo listed as questionable due to that hip injury. He did miss their most recent game, but do assume that he does ultimately end up playing tonight. If he doesn't play, we're going to look at some Kevin Love. We're going to look at some Thomas Bryant. We'll see who ultimately gets to start there. Last time it was Thomas Bryant and Orlando Robinson. Robinson had a pretty good game, but he's down in the G League, at least at this point in time. And then we got Duncan Robinson listed as questionable due to a finger injury. We'll see if he's able to go or not tonight. If he's unable to go, more minutes, for guys like Jaime Jaquez, Josh Richardson, and Caleb Martin overall. Then on the Knicks side, we have Evan Fournier listed as doubtful with his ankle injury. He was able to practice yesterday, so there is a chance that he's back, but not a major part of the rotation either way, though. Moving down to Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine, questionable due to his foot injury. He ultimately did not end up playing. It was a last-minute scratch on Wednesdays. We'll see if he's good to go tonight or not. For the Raptors, Christian Koloko remains out. And then Thaddeus Young, questionable due to his illness. He's missed like 3 or 4 games now with that illness, so not a major part of the rotation either way, though. And then the one that we'll actually be watching is Precious Achiuwa. He's listed as questionable for tonight. If he's unable to go, solidifies the minutes for Jakob Poeltl and Chris Boucher once again tonight. Then we move over to Denver Nuggets. Kankar and Murray both out once again, so no changes there. Then on the Rockets side, Oladipo and Amen Thompson both out once again, so no changes there whatsoever as well. Moving down to the Detroit Pistons, it's just Bogdanovich, Harris, and Morris out at this point in time, so they're getting a little bit healthier. They do get Jalen Duran back tonight, so not a ton of value on this Pistons team overall, although it is a pace-up spot versus the Pacers team overall. Then on the Pacers side, we got Andrew Nembhard, questionable. He's missed the last couple games with a back injury. And then Aaron Nesmith dealing with the wrist injury. He missed their most recent game. So we'll see if either one of those guys ends up playing tonight. If Nesmith's unable to play, we get Obi Toppin back in the starting lineup. He's going to look pretty good once again. Then we move over to the Wizards, who are without Ryan Rollins and DeLon Wright once again tonight, so no changes for them. For the Milwaukee Bucks, just Jay Crowder listed out, and then Giannis technically listed as probable due to illness, but expected to play tonight. So pretty much as healthy as they're going to get at this point in time. We move over to Sacramento Kings, who are without Keon Ellis, Alex Len, and Keegan Murray once again. So pretty similar to what we've seen in their most recent game. Colby Jones also listed as questionable, but not a major part of the rotation either way. On the Timberwolves side, Clark, McDaniels, and McLaughlin all out once again. So exact same that we saw the last time out for them. Moving down to the Spurs, they're all the way healthy at this point in time. Golden State Warriors, obviously Draymond's still suspended, but they are expected to get Gary Payton II back tonight, coming off of his foot injury. He's missed the last couple games. For the New Orleans Pelicans, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, and Matt Ryan all out once again, so no real changes there from their most recent game. They did get Larry Nance back in that most recent game as well. And then for the Clippers side, we got Brandon Boston, Mason Plumlee still out once again, and Norman Powell listed as questionable due to a groin injury for tonight. If he's unable to go, just solidify some of the minutes for some of those other guys like Russell Westbrook, Terrence Mann, a couple other guys off the bench if you want to go that direction. Bones Highland probably gets back into the rotation tonight overall. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries for tonight's slate. As always, I will be listing all the injury updates as they do come out throughout the day. So definitely be sure you're checking back on this video as we do get closer to lock. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with James Harden. He's $8,100. We're looking for 40, 41 points at him tonight. Currently, I'm projected for about that 40 to 41 on the DraftKings side tonight. Looks like a pretty solid value there. If you want to go to a guy like Jalen Brunson, similar price tag, similar point projection, you could do that as well. Do like the matchup tonight against the Pelicans. They kind of been a little bit hit or miss, especially at that point guard spot. We got Dyson Daniels there. We got Jose Alvarado. Should be a favorable matchup for James Harden tonight overall. And he's been doing a lot better since Russell Westbrook moved over to the bench unit. And then we're going to move down to shooting guard with Buddy Hield. He started the last 2 games. He looked really, really good last time out. $5,500, looking for 27, 28 points out of him tonight. It's a good matchup tonight against the Detroit Pistons. Do have him currently projected for 30 points. Does have a ton of upside for more, especially if he's shooting the ball as well as he did the last time out. So definitely one of the guys that we want to have in our lineups and some good exposure to that high-scoring game overall. And then we move down to another high-scoring game with small forward Chris Middleton. It's the Milwaukee Bucks. It's the Washington Wizards. Middleton's at $5,700. We're looking for, about 28, 29 fantasy points out of him tonight. He's averaging just under 25 so far on the season. But their most recent game, Chris Middleton was able to play 29 minutes. Looks like his minutes are upticking closer to normal at this point in time. So I currently have him projected for 30 points, which is about a fantasy point per minute at this point in time. Against the Washington Wizards team, does look pretty good overall. If he plays 29 minutes again, probably outperforms his price tag pretty easily. Oddly enough, when he was only playing like 18 to 20 minutes a night, his price tag was still too high. But now that he's actually played the minutes, they really haven't adjusted the price tag whatsoever. So we might as well take advantage of it tonight. And then at power forward, we're going to go with DeMar DeRozan here. This is one that could very, very much change throughout the day going against the Toronto Raptors. Should be a pretty back and forth game here. Looking for 36, 37 points. Currently, I'm projected for 38 tonight. If Zach LaVine misses once again, it probably looks even better. If LaVine plays, probably looks like a decent play. And like I said, this is one that could very much change throughout the day, so just keep an eye out on that. But is a guy that I at least like early on at that power forward spot. There are a couple guys in that 8,000 price range. If you want to play over him, you can definitely do that as well, though. And then at the center position, we're going to go with a pay down option here in Daniel Theis. This is one that could very much change throughout the day, too. There's a lot of good center values overall on this slate, so if you want to play somebody else, if you want to pay up to like a Brook Lopez, you can do that. If you want to pay to Daniel Gafford, you could do that as well. He's coming off that really hot game where he was just an abysmal job at price tag, but that's a story for a different day. Daniel Theis, $3,600, looking for 18 points out. In the last 2 games for the Clippers, he's played 20-plus minutes and put up some really big performances in those games. Currently, I have him projected for 22, but definitely does have some upside for more as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here on the DraftKings side, you'll have $19,800 remaining, $6,600 per player. So you're not really paying up for any of the top guys. Looks like a little bit more of a balance build, but there are going to be some values that pop up throughout the day. So if you want to throw in a couple of values, throw in one stud, you can probably do that with this core 5 that I do have listed here today overall. Obviously, if you want to play a stud over DeMar DeRozan, you could definitely do that too. But with that being said, we'll keep moving over to FanDuel, talk about my core picks over there as well. So on the FanDuel side, it's going to look pretty similar, at least for the first 3 guys. I think if you're building out a cash lineup on FanDuel, the top 3 guys that I do have here should be in your cash game lineup no matter what. So we have James Harden here at $7,400. This price tag has not moved. Looking for 37 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 39 on the FanDuel side tonight. Been better since Russell Westbrook has not been in that starting lineup. Obviously, the upside that you could have with James Harden on any given slate is pretty high just in general, but most likely we're getting around 40 points out of him tonight and looking like a really good play. It's a good matchup versus the New Orleans Pelicans once again. It's Dyson Daniels, it's Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins out there trying to keep up with James Harden. Probably not going to end up too well most of the time. Then we move down to shooting guard with Buddy Hield. He's even cheaper on the FanDuel side, $5,000, only looking for 25 points out. He's averaging 23 so far in the season. However, he's been starting the past 2 games. The minutes have been there. The point scoring's been there. So as long as he keeps up that hot shooting, he's going to look really good once again tonight. Currently, I'm projected for 30 points. Definitely does offer a ton of upside for more as well. Then at small forward, we got Chris Middleton once again, $5,600. Looking for 28 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 29-30 on tonight's slate overall. If he goes out there, if he plays 29 minutes again against this Washington Wizards team, he is going to be one of the better values on tonight's slate overall. Should get you at least that 30 points, maybe a little bit of upside for more at the same time as well. Maybe we even get a couple extra minutes out of him tonight, but now the fact that we've seen him play 29 minutes means it's definitely doable, and he could do it once again, and as long as this game's not a massive blowout or anything else like that. Then in power forward, we're going to go down to Obi Toppin, $4,700, looking for 24 points out of him. I'm going to say it right now, I don't know if Aaron Nesmith's going to play tonight or not with that wrist injury. I would lean on the side more not of him playing today, so if you want to play somebody other than Obi Toppin, definitely understand it. But I like the upside that it presents for him today overall. Decent matchup against the Detroit Pistons, who are going to want to play two big guys out there on the court most of the time, which is a little bit more favorable for a guy like Obi Toppin in his game overall. Maybe he gets a little bit of an athleticism advantage over Isaiah Stewart at the same time as well. So I definitely do like him for today's slate overall. Back and forth, high-paced game. It's going to be a lot of points most likely scored in this game overall. Currently, I'm projected for 25 FanDuel points. Definitely has some upside for more. If he's scoring the ball well, if he's getting a couple steals and blocks here and there as well, could definitely help him out too. Then last but not least, at the center position, we're going to go with Alperen Sengun at $8,400. We have the matchup of Nikola Jokic versus Anthony Sengun, which is kind of like Joker versus like court jester, or mini Joker, however you want to call him. Both these guys are very, very effective at their positions. They've both been playing really well as of late. As long as Sengun doesn't get in foul trouble, do like him tonight. We're looking for 42 points out. Essentially what I have him projected for tonight. He's just under 41 fantasy points per game on the FanDuel side on the season overall. So do like the upside he presents. If you want to play Nikola Jokic over him, definitely go ahead and do that. But, you're paying up an extra $4,000 at that point in time. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $28,900 remaining, just over $7,200 per player remaining. So a little bit of value there. If you want to pay up for a couple higher price guys, definitely can do it. And then pay down for some value guys on the rest of your lineup. If you want to take a little bit more bounce build, definitely something you can do on tonight's 8-game main slate overall. But with that being said, these are my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today, November 24th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. I also ask that you please note whether those questions are more FanDuel or DraftKings specific, just so I can help you as quickly and efficiently as possible. It saves both of us just a little bit of time. Instead of going back and forth and being like, what do you think about James Harden? Well, is it DraftKings, is it FanDuel? Because some of these guys, price tags are a little bit different. So on different sites, different scoring, different price tags makes a little bit of difference for some of these players overall. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now we have NBA DFS Monday through Friday in terms of the core pick videos. We got NFL DFS player pool video coming out once a week, typically on Saturdays. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get to that last week, but we'll have that out this week overall. And then also be sure to look out for my NFL DFS cheat sheets on the sports affiliation website as well for both FanDuel and DraftKings if that's something you're into as well. And then last but not least, if you are interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you are a brand new user to any one of those sites, you will get a pretty good first match deposit for FanDuel and Parlay Play. It's up to $100. For BetUS, it's 125% of your first deposit. So definitely be sure to check that out if that's something you're interested in. And then with that being said, if you have any questions regarding any of those 3 sites, sports betting or prop betting whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comments or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning into this video. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in NBA DFS tonight.